Hello and welcome to the collective reading for the Leo full moon. This is going to happen on the 25th of January 2024 at 5 degrees and 14 minutes of Leo. Whew, this is quite a moon because it's coming just after Pluto entered into Aquarius. So Pluto and the Sun are conjunct one another. We're getting this boost from Leo to help us connect back into our heart that allows balance between these two energies. There's going to be this quite a transformative transit of Pluto. I've done a Pluto transit series, so if you want to go check that out, that will give you a deeper understanding of what's going on in the Aquarius side of the chart at the moment and what is Leo bringing to the table. Right, my name's Chloe. I work with card divination, astrology, and I channel energies through my body. I've been channeling physical light language for nearly 3 years now, and recently I've had the vocal side of the light language get activated. It happened just before the Sagittarius new moon. I'm still integrating that, but overall this is channeling different energies from different dimensions to help us heal, help us clear stuck energy and open up portals to source to get us in alignment with our soul's frequency, clearing energy in our light body, bringing in activation codes Ishatani Matusha to help us on our journey of liberation and creativity. Ashatani Marushani Marushatani Matushani Natumana Ishana Natumani Tinana Ushatani Tushatana Natufa Ishatani Maromacha Ishatano Micha Ishani Maromacha Inana Monacha Ishane Monacha Ishane Monacha Anina Monacha Nimanoma Inani Natushatina Hushani Manano Fachani Etini Marachani Atumina Naramana Ishatani Matushane Natana Etani Nach. So, as I said, I'm still integrating all of this. Sometimes I get words in my head that are translating it. Other times it is just activating things within us. So even if you're not consciously aware of what's going on with either the physical or the vote-like language, it's still having an impact for your highest good. Now, so in this, I'm going to be breaking down the astrology of the Leo full moon. I've got some oracle cards here. Usually I do a separate oracle card reading, but they might want to come through in this reading. In this collective reading, I'll pull some collective tarot and some big collective messages coming through. What I was really getting before I sat down and pulled the cards and tapped into the astrology was that of play and of love, right? Leo rules the heart, right? It's a very warm social energy. It's the social fire sign. It's ruled by the sun. They're sort of sitting by the campfire, gathering together, expressing joy and creativity, and laughter is such an important thing as well. Ishatini marushani matufa. I have the Happy Buddha here. I've had it for quite a while now, since the Scorpio full moon last year, which was an eclipse. Ishani Matufa. And the Happy Buddha is all about embodying this sense of the ridiculousness through laughter and joy, right? All the good, the bad, and the ugly of what's going on in your life, of finding that space of just how, doing a little smile, smiling, such a powerful energy, in order to sort of tap into the transitory nature of life, and how laughter activates the nervous system, activates the soul frequency, Ashini Matufina Chinina, and brings us back to a higher perspective outside of the heaviness of the ridiculousness that is existence. So what I felt with this full moon in Aquarius was this full moon in Leo, but with the Sun and Pluto conjunct one another, is Pluto can bring up some very difficult energy. It's transformational, but there's an intensity there, there's a power there, and it's often linked into obviously the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, the honoring of creation and destruction, and how that can be discombobulating. And the fact that we've got this full moon in Leo just after the ingress, it's about 4 or 5 days afterwards, depending on where you live, that this is bringing in a joyful activation of the individual that facilitates not only your own individual space, but the environment that you create socially. Ishani Matufa Chini Marisha. It's got the Emperor card. Now, the Emperor card is all about wisdom through actions. Ishani narufa shatani matufa. It's about finding strength within yourself, your own autonomy, your own sovereignty. Ishani matufa chinya. And Pluto can disrupt that in order to get you to this space. Ishani matufa. They're just sort of putting it on the crown chakra of the Happy Buddha, sort of bringing in that energy of laughter, of that is which we can embody wisdom. Ishani matufina, of that higher perspective of Aquarius, right? The universal truths of Aquarius, and linking back into the heart space. Leo does rule the heart, and it is one of the most powerful energies that we have. Ishina, the Egyptians got rid of the mind and kept the heart. Okay, so our heart frequency, our electromagnetic field of our heart is about 3 feet, and our mind is about 3 inches. When we are in heart coherence with somebody else, that field gets magnified more than any other. So what I've felt with that Pluto transit is going to be activating higher vibrational frequencies, helping us tap into sound, and the universal truth of Aquarius, of leaning back into the heart, that the heart is actually where we should be guided from. Ishani matushatini matushani etini matufa, to bring us into our sovereignty. Atumina tishatene etini mashana shani matuma itini manumanina itini mach itani matufa ninana. I've recently had a reading with someone who's phenomenal. She's helped me tap into the vocal light language and some meanings behind it. And she said that I've got 3 guides that are working with me at the moment. And there's 3 different main frequencies. And the one that's been coming through so far is a very ethereal energy linked into healing. Ishatini ma, and soothing. Ina matuma. Ichini maruma chani matufa. We may be feeling the intensity of the Pluto transit over the days leading up to this full moon, and especially after the Sun and Pluto conjunct in the sign of Capricorn, and then both moving into Aquarius together, that can magnify the energy of Pluto. That there may have been some big clues about what that transit's going to be like, going both the difficult and the blessings. Ishani matufa, that our hearts are needing soothing at this time. And helping us to reconnect back to the self while we're dealing with this collective energy. Atini marufa chinima itini maruma ilale manushatini matufa. Right, so as I said, I was tapping into sort of the joy and finding joy and finding laughter and finding love in difficult times. Ishana matushana matufa. And then these oracle cards have brought up a very powerful message along with that. It's not these aren't playful cards here, but they're very empowering. It's honoring the Aquarian energy, the Pluto energy of transformation. And thinking about the new moon that we had in Leo. So I work with 6 months cycle, so this is the peak of that cycle that we instigated in that Leo new moon, and that Leo new moon was so radically independent and liberating. It was square Uranus. Lilith was conjunct the moon. Lilith is incredibly independent. Venus was retrograde at the time in the sign of Leo, so helping us revisit and renew our understandings of love. Ishatani matuma, with that liberating energy of breaking out of old patterns that may have had a strong hold over us. And this is the peak of that, right? The full moon, the completion energy in this particular part of the cycle. And we've got a lot of sort of transformational, intense energies that are leading us to a deeper wisdom when it comes to love. Ishatini marov, and the light of our souls. Itani maro shatani ma itini matufa. That there may be some really difficult energies showing up around this full moon, which I wasn't quite expecting, but it's linked into the astrology as well. But it's a bit of a split personality moon. We've got some difficult energies coming to the surface, being illuminated, and I feel like there's a very quick transformational energy. So that energy is linked into sort of fundamentals of the universe, sacred geometry, sort of the archetypal architect-ish energy of the universe, of activating new blueprints and codes. So my thumb's just over. I've got the chart up for the Leo full moon. It's just at the center of the chart. Now gone to the center of the mountain. There's a lot of Capricorn energy involved here. Capricorn's linked into the mountain god of long-term legacy transformation that will sustain us. Right, okay, let's crack on with the astrology. So, full moons. This is when the full light of the full light of the moon is visible, right? This is our intuition, our emotional body. Where are our needs being met or not being met? How do we nourish ourselves and others? And so full moons can bring up some difficult energy as well as celebrations. Itani matusha, and I'm getting very much an equal balance of this. But I'm not saying that to scare, just saying what is coming up that may be difficult is being released. Itani matuma. They're just sort of tapping the deck around the heart chakra. That what was I saying? Oh goodness me, brain. Sometimes when you channel, it's like mind wipe. That we've got this the full moon. So this is a heightening of our intuition when it comes to our individual heart vibrational frequency, right? An activation of the deeper levels of that, the strengthening of, as I said, the sort of the high vibrational levels. That's going to help take us and propel us forward into the next part of the cycle. An activation of a stronger will around facilitating our needs being met. Warming the fire within our vessel. You see here with the mountain that this figure is inside the mountain, surrounded by the warmth of the fire. So we've been activating over the last 6 months this sense of what does it feel like for us to walk in our own love and our own heart space. Ishani Matufa. You may have seen certain relationship dynamics around connecting to love, connecting to your heart, transform and fall away. Ishani Mitufa, empowering your individual self, the sun, right, the ruler of Leo energy, that vision, that purpose, that clarity of where are we headed, right? What energies do we need in order to sustain and nourish ourselves, making sure our needs are being met, that are fulfilling our soul's frequency. And bringing in that uniqueness of self. With that square that we had with Uranus and the conjunction with Lilith for that new moon. Now, the sun is over in the sign of Aquarius, and traditionally the sun in Aquarius is in its fall. Aquarius is a collective air sign. It's very utopian. It is about bringing together of communities. Ishani Matufachana, and the sun is very much the I am, inamono, your will, your individual will, and it can sort of traditionally it's in its fall, but I find planets in their fall still have wonderful Gusi Shani Matufa, and this is with the full moon of allowing space of us being in that collective, being in trying to raise the collective up, and tapping into that fire of the moon Ishatinima to facilitate that transformation. Aquarius is, as I said, very forward thinking. It's looking to the future, to utopia. It's very sort of galactic energies. It's the collective air sign, which is linked into ideas and thoughts, these constructs that are universal to us. Ishani Marofa, Pluto's coming along and transforming that. I've linked that. I've done a collective reading for that as well, for the Pluto transit, so bringing in a deeper understanding of what that transit's going to be, as well as an all 12 sign series. That's still live. That's going to be relevant until the beginning of September, when it then dips back into Capricorn. So that's the second ingress of 3, and I really feel very strongly that it's helping prepare the ground for the final transit of Pluto. And I link Aquarius into frequencies, high vibrational frequencies, and I've noticed a lot in the news since Pluto's gone into the sign of Aquarius of certainly AI. There's an AI, they've used a certain AI model to in order to solve like big, really complex geometry questions, and those frequencies, I see frequencies and sacred geometry as a key part of the Aquarian energy that we're going to utilize more. We're going to have a deeper understanding of, and be able to tap in and explore and get downloads from using that, right? Binaural beats, tapping into the theta brainwave, Tibetan gongs, soothing the nervous system. Aquarius rules the nervous system. Ichani marumachan, bringing balance to the individual, that then facilitates the collective consciousness and our collective universal truth. Ishani maru shatini marufa. So the Sun and Pluto are over in the sign of Aquarius. The Sun is magnified by the Pluto energy. There's a lot of power, intensity, this ability to see the purpose of the transformation. Atini ma shushatini meneta ina marushani marufa itini marishani menufi natani ina natni namuna ina manisha itani marufa inatina nina nofa yachini marufi ni machanta. The purpose, the sun is shining the light on the moon. So often with full moons, where the sun is giving us the vision and the clarity of what's been activated, what's been transformed. And so this tapping into those frequencies and the sort of utopian higher perspective of Aquarius, we're going to get some clues about where our heart space is headed. Ishani matuvana, because with the full moon we get activation codes that will then unfold until the Leo new moon in Leo season. Ishani marushani matufa. So that's all going to be tied into Pluto, that can bring in fear, can bring in control, right? The sense of possession and obsession. What I feel with this moon is it's helping us see those things that may crop up, and then help us burn that energy into our heart space and transform that and liberate ourselves with this peak of this full moon that's going to allow us to expand into our heart space, rather than fall into trying to dominate or control others. Ishani mini ishani marisha itini ma. Just saw the Knight of Wands, which is about embodiment of that fire energy moving forward. Ishani ma itini marushani tishani matu itini ma tu matina tine shatana marushani ma. So very, very powerful moon, that is allowing us to transform and clear away frequencies that aren't serving our heart. Ishani maru shatini maritini maritani maritini matita aritani nadita tushani marishani mara itini marufa chana. And so allowing that expansion of the light of Leo, of that courage, that vulnerability of walking forwards with our heart playing the key role, and helping bring in higher frequencies that are in alignment with this new transformation. Helping us understand that we might not quite comprehend what love is fully. That is a constant journey of exploration, and to be at peace with the transitory nature of our understanding, that we're on a journey to explore and embody a deeper wisdom of how to bring that love into the collective consciousness, to allow the higher perspective to infiltrate and expand our understanding of love, right? Aquarius is often, can be the black sheep of the family, and they're very at peace with others who are different. They may not necessarily agree with them, but they can be at peace with it. And it's sort of allowing everyone to have their own frequency that plays the vast tapestry of the collective energy. But a realignment to the future energy, Ishanima, in the present moment. So a lot of of light language coming through with this one. There's a lot of activation codes and clearing of the energy that I'm talking about. King of Wands. Oh, I love that. So I saw briefly the Knight of Wands didn't quite come out, but then we've got the King. This is hello Venus. We've got the Empress as well with that. Venus is playing a role here in this moon, which I will get to, as is the Aries energy. So that King of Wands is the embodiment of fire. Kings have the clarity and vision to take action on their suit, on their element. They are in command. They have internal sovereignty and autonomy in what they do, and they're able to take action. This is really important, of this activation code coming in with this full moon, of having a strength. Kings in that Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius reading, across the board, kings were really prevalent, of saying Pluto is helping us step into our maturity, our sense of responsibility and duty to take care and take action through that, and also not necessarily getting swayed from our path, either from the exterior collective energy. King of Wands, obviously fire energy. On the back of the throne are salamanders. In past times, it was thought that the salamander was the only animal in the animal kingdom that could move through fire and thus be not affected by being burnt up into dust. This is saying through this journey that we're going through, this transformational energy isn't going to destroy us. And I really want, even though we do have the destroyer card here, that came out twice, put it back and it came out. First card out and then it came out again. But that which is being destroyed, right? Honoring that Pluto energy of the neutrality of creation and destruction. We put emotions, we put morals onto it. But if we take that step back of that perspective of realizing energy never disappears, it transforms into something else. So often certainly with Pluto transits, and now we've got the Leo fire, this is being transformed into the phoenix. Now this energy that's coming through is the third energy that I have with me most consistently, and this is a very protective energy. It's a strengthening and grounding earth energy, and also manifestation. They're just sort of tapping over the third eye activation card. Brow chakra, inner vision, clear seeing, right? Kings have clear seeing. In order to take action, being able to see through delusions, see through vibrational frequencies that do not serve your heart. They're just tapping on the fluorite quartz, fluorite, what are they called? Tower? No. Point, crystal point. Anyway, fluorite is tapped into the third eye and the throat chakra of being able to speak and see clearly. I've got a tiger here. I know it's not a lion, but I do use it as a representation of the Leo energy, of our mammalian side, our instinctive desire to the warmth of our energy. Right, okay. Right, so the only aspect that the sun, the moon and Pluto are making with this full moon is a square with Jupiter. Jupiter's in Taurus and it's at 6 degrees, so it's within a degree of each other, right? And so this is all lots of fixed energy, and fixed energy is both stubborn and a wonderful energy to keep going. I feel like this stubbornness with the astrology is being broken up, and activating the ability to bring in this new frequency and apply say it and then keep going, right? They're just, I've got this rose quartz point here that they've just put my finger on. Ishatani marufa. Again, that heart energy, ushani marushatina, of cracking open certain frequencies that we've been stuck in around the heart. And bringing in the true nature of that heart energy. I do feel sorry for the energies in this vessel because my whistling is never been very good. That's the Lemurian seed codes, embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, living with grace. So there's a softness coming in, right? There's a softness coming in of the heart, where we may have had barriers. Ishani maru shatani na 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 na. They're tapping on the destroyer card. Ishani maru shana, pulling down barriers that have stopped us from embodying that softness, but not removing the strength. Not removing the power within us, right? Not self-sacrificing or giving too much of ourselves away, allowing us to be in flow and softness while still having a strength running through us. Ishaniman, which is off the bat of that Capricorn new moon, Inamanuma, that we just had, which was activating such deep, nourishing wisdom and strength within ourselves that are lasting us for there's a sense of longevity with Capricorn. Now this square with Jupiter. Jupiter represents wisdom, elevation. It's often linked into gurus and teachers. There's a sense of bringing together in order to expand, an elevation of that which we know, a deep faith and knowing within ourselves, which brings about confidence. There's a sense of joviality and generosity with Jupiter. It is a benefic, it is the greater benefic, sense of opportunities and luck. Jupiter went direct at the end of the year, so we're really seeing an activation of everything that we've been questioning and working over with that Jupiter retrograde. Now there's momentum now moving forwards of sort of reaping the rewards of Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. Jupiter in Taurus for me has been seeking wisdom and knowledge through the physical senses of your personal connection to the 3D world, your personal connection to your vessel, not emotions, but your senses. Tapping into what spidey sense is coming up, what does that mean, and finding deep wisdom within that. The wisdom in slowing down and tapping into this sense of love and this sense of joy of being in the 3D world, right? Very Venusian energy, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. But so this square, which is an aspect of Mars, it's actually forming a T square. So we've got the opposition between the sun and the moon, and then we've got Jupiter in Taurus, and the release point of a T square is always the bottom of the T. And this is two squares and an opposition. Squares are an aspect of Mars. Mars can bring about conflict, drama, frustration, winning at all costs. And I am getting that energy come through with these cards and just in general, that there is potentially going to be these things rise up. Acknowledge that that's going to be the case. Let it move through you. See what it's see. Acknowledge that these things are being released and see what it's trying to teach you. Atinima, Jupiter is the benefic, wants to give you opportunities and expansion. So these things coming up are going to be doing that. Right. So what I talked about, the heart space and sort of universal truths, feeding into our embodiment of wisdom in your individual experience of the 3D world. Personal Taurus energy. This sense of feeling stable and secure and safe in your own vessel. There's definitely a sense of protection coming in. Giving you that sense of calm in difficult times. Jupiter is providing, so there's the other side of the conflict, drama and frustration is friction. Mars represents moving, motivation, action, passion, and this sense of what are you going to take action over? What are you going to defend? What's important to you that you're going to then embody? And so friction is, so this is a high manifestation energy aspect to square. It's a hard aspect. It's a difficult aspect. It involves some extra hurdles. It's not soft and easy and free flowing like a trine or a sextile, but it's high manifestation energies. And that is because without friction, we wouldn't have atoms bumping up against one another in order to create time and space. In order to create this very 3D linear time frame that we're very conscious that we're in, and so this is activation energy in the 3D. It's manifestation, so there'll be a completion of a certain level of understanding and knowing and faith, as well as activating codes that are then going to unfold over the next 6 months that are compounding on that. Ichani Marusha. Got the Page of Wands as I was talking about that. Page of Wands. So the wand is bigger than the page, and the page is looking up to that wand. And wands represent transformation, creativity, passion, virility, life. Okay, so this figure is looking to be transformed. Ishatani marushatini marusha. The red feather represents courage. Ishani marusha. We've got the pyramids in the background, and it's there's a lot of theories around how the pyramids were built. I certainly lean towards the one of sound frequencies. And that they weren't actually tombs, they were places of consciousness rising. And deep healing. So Jupiter, this square to Jupiter, there's going to be a lot of activation codes coming in around this desire to transform into something bigger than ourselves, than our current space, as well as bringing in new frequencies that are helping activate our spirit energy, activate our desire to get creative. Bringing passion into our lives. That is going to help bring us manifestation into this world. Pages are very useful energy. They're very excitable. They've just entered into the court. So it's saying, yes, we've got the maturity of the King of Wands, the Emperor and the Empress, but we've got this joy, this usefulness, right, of the Leo energy, that play, that sense of love, inani madushana, and not the heaviness of perhaps past cycles stopping us. Itani marushani, from liberation. Itani madufa, especially around the heart space. Atani mausha, and that can be in all sorts of fields: work, health, love, friends, connection to source. Achini marushani naritani naritani daritani. Just cut the deck and got the Three of Swords in reverse. Right, that's not just about romance. That's anything, any idea, any construct. We've got swords here. Aquarian energy, any frequencies that have blocked your heart's frequency. Remember I said at the beginning about the heart space in our electromagnetic field from the heart being very powerful. When we've got distortions there, it gets blocked. These are it's in reverse, so they're falling out, allowing the wounds to heal. Bringing in a higher vibrational frequency that our heart has always had. Cut the deck and got Judgment. Judgment is about ascension, the raising of the dead. Pluto is very much linked into the dead, our ancestors, both blood and soul lineage, Ishan and the collective as well, and they are grey, representing wisdom. Pluto can unearth great riches and resources from that which has come before us. This figure is blowing a trumpet, frequencies, sound frequencies, raising up these resources, Ishani model, to ascend our being and bring about a greater sense of good judgment. Very interesting. They're wanting the Empress card to go with it. This is Venus. This is fertility. This is abundance. This is wanting you to feel good in the 3D realm. So this is what this activation and this level up is bringing in, right? The energy, we can be so fixed on what is our purpose, what is our mission to help everybody, putting in all the hard work, very much strong work ethic of of focusing on everything other than yourself, everything other than what brings you joy. Ashani maru shani na tinina. What makes you smile a little bit? What gives you a spring in your step? And we can often sacrifice that and think it's not important of raising the consciousness of the universe, but it's the most fundamental thing. Play, get creative, bring in that childlike wonder of the exploration and the curiosity of what on earth is going on and how do we feel about it and what do we want to do in this very moment. Do we want to go and stand outside and look at the birds and hear them singing, or whatever brings you joy? I've certainly recently got into watching. I'm not on Instagram very often, but when I am, I do a little bit of doom scrolling. Recently I've had a lot of things pop up of like cameras going underneath water into ecosystems, and just that element of submerging and seeing all the life being bubbled up brings me so much joy. And I'm like, okay, I'm okay doom scrolling this. This is a beautiful thing, because so often we can bring in shame and fear, and our heart can embody that of, are you good enough? Are you doing the right thing? And focusing too much on must be high vibe all the time, blah, 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 blah. It's all about integrating all the different levels and being at peace with who you are in this moment, and allowing some joy, allowing some laughter, something that just gives you a glint in your eye. So frequencies are going to be raised in order for us to access that while still working with the collective, right? While still bringing in joy. Creation is the name of the game. And for creation to be, we need this element of that which falls away, that which is destroyed, in order to release that energy into joy. So this square with Jupiter, it said bringing in manifestation energy around, this is funny because it's the Empress, because it's Venus, bringing in manifestation around activating this balance between the Leo and the Aquarian energy. Bringing in opportunities to help fulfill this heart love space that is allowing deep transformation of the inherent universal truth of your soul's frequency, clearing out those blockages and liberating. Cut the deck and get the King of Swords. Goodness me. Could make it up. This card came out for every sign. 11 out of the 12 signs. Strangely, Pisces didn't get it, but it made sense with the astrology. In the Pluto and Aquarius transit series that I've just done. And this is the card for Aquarius. And love that we've got the King of Wands and the King of Swords, really embodying what we're moving into. Maturity. We're moving into a sense of authority and sovereignty. We've gone through a year of putting down seeds and building, and now there's some confidence coming through of the work that we've done. Ishani marushatini marushani marushane etini marushane Itimana shane metushanen achana numa itini marufini etini marufati namanuma itini marushini natini no shane tinta itini marushini marufa. Now, let's do some other astrology. Now, so the moon is in Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun. So we always want to look to what's going on with the ruler of a sign, because that is then impacting the signs that it rules. So the sun is impacting what's going on with Leo. And so this is where we're coming into balance between that Aquarius and Leo energy. And with oppositions, we want them to be in alignment and in balance with one another. Sometimes one side can be prioritized over the other, but honoring that flow. Ishani matufa. So the Aquarian energy is influencing that heart space of taking it into utopia. But often with Aquarius, it's often looking to where we are now and being in a fear state and seeing dystopia. And what I feel is like allowing that energy to be within us, but it's not holding us in the same way. Really show that spread is quite a vision to look at. Of finding this strength, right? The Emperor and the Empress, of being in balance with our divine feminine and divine masculine, not gender specific. We have it within us, accessing the neutral energy of spirit, Ishani Marufa, and bringing ourselves into power and sovereignty. Now, the sun is in Aquarius, and Aquarius is traditionally ruled by Saturn. So we want to look to where Saturn is to see what influence that's happening on the sun and therefore happening on the moon. Saturn is over in Pisces, and this is the sort of the collective emotional unconscious space. This is the duality of being able to hold space and walk in other people's shoes, right? So there's a level of empathy. You don't necessarily have to agree with somebody, but sort of understanding the path that they have walked. It's a very magical, very fluky sign. Saturn is giving structure and maturity to that, giving us a sense of grounding, like buoys on the ocean, of somewhere like if we're floating on the ocean, of giving us safe harbors every now and again. Saturn is linked into, it can bring up restrictions, limitations, frustrations, shaking down of foundational structures in order to serve us in the long term. But Saturn overall does all of that in order, and also authority impinging on yours, or your authority being blown up, in order for you to get more in alignment with your true authority that doesn't diminish anybody else's. Authority, commitment, responsibility, in order to tap into your integrity and your legacy, right? So Saturn in the sign of Pisces is bringing about a very different sort of a universal love energy. I've got sort of there's a portal just above. You can't quite, I just lift that up so you can see it. There's a portal. There's a portal there, just above the camera shot. Ishani marushat, of different dimensions at in the universal love of source. Ini marushani marachini marachini marusha. What else was I going to say? Bringing in magic. All right, magic that that is going to serve us for the long term. Ishani marusha. But with that universal love of like being at peace with the duality of both fishes, they're going in different directions, of honoring the light and the dark, right? The yin and the yang, all of those dualistic natures that we have on this planet, and being more at peace with it. Ishani marusha tini marufa, and understanding that we need both of those things on this planet. We need to understand them in order to evolve and connect to the earth energy, which then creates more space for the magic and the synchronicities to come in, and also our peace with ourselves, right? And the journey that we've been on, the peace with society and the collective, stepping away from cancel culture, and opening up paths of forgiveness, peace, and love. Now, Jupiter rules Pisces traditionally, so we want to look to where Jupiter is, because Jupiter's influencing Saturn, therefore influencing the sun, then the moon. And Jupiter is over in Taurus, which is, as I said, ruled by Venus. So we've got this sense of expansion of our desire to connect and find wisdom in our current incarnation on this 3D realm. And I find opportunities and expressions of elevation of that experience. Bringing in a sense of ease and generosity and joviality, right? With this energy. And it's sextiling Saturn. So this is an aspect of Venus, a sextile, bringing love, appreciation, connection, harmony, diplomacy, grace, creativity, brainstorming, what do you love, what do you desire. So Saturn and Jupiter have been in this sextile for a while now, and this is activating a deeper understanding of our collective unconscious space that has been blocking or limiting us, each anima, in our individual personal expansion of self in this individual vessel, in your physical form. So they're being in harmony with one another and then activating the frequencies that facilitate that. Bringing a sense of ease. So Jupiter's influencing Saturn, so we've got some ease come in from the greater benefic. And who rules Taurus? Well, hello, the Empress. This is Venus. So we want to look to where Venus is, because Venus is influencing Jupiter and therefore influencing Saturn and therefore influencing this full moon. And Venus is over in Capricorn, and she is trine Jupiter. So we've got this trine of wisdom, elevation, expansion, wisdom with Venus being in Capricorn. Capricorn's the collective earth sign, finding strength in the ancestors, strength in our deeper long-term collective connection to the earth beyond the hierarchical structures that we're currently in. A desire to honor the past, honor our inherent tradition, to operate from a higher vibrational heart frequency. She is love, right? So she's helping us tap into the experiences that we felt beyond this current matrix. Itani Marusha. A lot of these cards, we've got the Lemurian and the Atlantean cards from the Carl Gray deck. Those are both believed to have been on this earth, Idanima, so that which predates our current understanding of our human experience. In the Capricorn new moon, so obviously Venus is in Capricorn, I talked about Graham Hancock, and whether you believe on what he's bringing to the surface, is he's certainly helping us question the narratives. So Venus is helping us connect to the mother, the great grandmother of the earth, Panchamata, to help facilitate the sense of love for the ecosystems that we're in, now both in our own body, our own experiences, and that of the collective. You are not just you are made up of billions and millions, probably trillions of bacteria and viruses within you that create an ecosystem within your body. Ashani Marusa, a unification of all the elements of your physical body, and helping facilitate the heart space and strengthen. Ishani Marusha Tini Marusha. She is in the sign of Saturn. So we then go back to Saturn, and not only that, but she's sextiling Saturn. So we've got Jupiter and Venus by trine, and then Saturn by sextile, and they're making two sextiles and a trine, which is this beautiful, inspirational, creative love expression, the energy that is feeding into this moon. Ishanima. So I said it's a bit of a split personality of, yes, difficult things are coming up, but it's serving the long-term love energy. We've got Jupiter and Saturn, the two visible gas giants to the naked eye, long-term cycles, 12 and 30 years respectively, and they're all being combined with Venus, Ishani Marushani Marufa, Chani Marishani Marufa, of allowing a deeper understanding of love, right? So I said we're learning what love is. Ina moshini marufa, chani marufa. And this is helping bring that in. Ina moduminani machani, ufinati ni machini marufa. Ina marufi ni machani marufi ni machani mana. And she's sextile Saturn. So again, that sort of creativity, that sense of love, harmony, bringing it all together. Ishani ma, very yin energy with this very yang moon, right? Yang is fire and air. It's very sort of linear, go, 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 extrovert, action, action, action. Yin is sort of the more the introvert, of the observation, right? The nourishing, the nurturing, the strategizing in order to then for the yang to take action from great depth. Ishani maru shinima tufa. So we've got this yin energy, ishinima, influencing this yang moon of then how do we take action? Itini based on this nourishment. Atanima ishinima ru shatani manushana. Itini marufa. So there's this feedback loop between Venus, Saturn and Jupiter that's influencing this moon. So absolutely love that, even if we are bringing up some quite intense energies with this Pluto side of it. Now, I wanted to touch on... what time is it? Okay, I've got enough time. I wanted to touch on some other energies that are going on at the time of this full moon. We have Mercury and Mars within one degree of each other in the sign of Capricorn, which is why I wasn't that surprised that the mountain showed up, because there's a lot of Capricorn energy. We've got Venus, Mercury and Mars. They're all the personal planets to us in the sign of Capricorn, strengthening our legacy, right? Our long-term cycles, our deeper connection to the earth, our ability to take actions that serve us in the long term. And so Mercury and Mars are sort of being on and off conjunct one another for a while now. It's very much closely linked into that Mercury retrograde that we just had. Our ability for our mind Mercury for me is flow, flow of information, bringing up wisdom and inspiration from our earth ancestors, feeding into Mars, which is in its exaltation. It loves being in Capricorn. This is raising up all the high vibrational levels of Mars, right? The ability to get up and do the thing, the motivation and the passion to take action. And bring things into manifestation. So that's a mixture of the sort of sacred geometry, downloading code energy, as well as the manifestation and protection energy. Now doing some deep healing and raising of our frequency. Right, so Mars and Mercury conjunct one another. Our ability to plan and understand, bring in download codes around integrity and longevity of that Capricorn energy, and our actions to take with it, right? So this is the downloads that are coming through with this full moon, and they are square the nodes and Chiron, which is, we've got the Aries energy showing up. Chiron and the North Node in Aries is where we're striving for, of being the individual, the I am, the autonomous being, without causing conflict all the time, without being contrary and independent for independence sake. The power of being able to take action of Aries. With Chiron, with this square, so we're bringing in manifestation of clearing wounds around our ability to be the individual. That's so saying those collective frequencies that may have had an impact on you, that may have stunted your ability to operate from that heart space as an individual. With Mercury and Mars squaring that, we're activating the higher principle in Capricorn. So in Cancer energy, this is what we're releasing. So this is the bottom point of that square energy with the nodes. Capricorn is the peak. We just had that with the Capricorn new moon. Really recommend that. That was such a great transit. That's for the next 6 months. So it's the first of 4 moons in Capricorn. So we're getting a lot of activations around the peak of what this eclipse cycle is all about. And so being able to instigate and manifest our individual self and find the wisdom and the deep teaching of Chiron, Ijani Marusha, of the wounds that we may have faced, and releasing them, Ishani Mara, and not embodying them, clearing out ancestral wounds, Itani Mashishani Machinyama, in the actions that we take in this lifetime. It's also square the South Node, and the South Node Libra energy is about releasing people pleasing, and being able to activate a sense of balance within ourselves when it comes to social dynamics, moving away from social anxiety. Also the social warrior of raising up voices, even especially your own, in the collective, and bringing harmony. We're refining that. This is why I say I feel like council culture is on the way out because of this eclipse cycle. Now, we're helping refine that, and that through our actions and our thoughts, the plans and the downloads that are coming through here, to serve these energies, this eclipse energy. Not only that, and so I'm just going to let the light language run through. So I've got the Page of Swords while I was sort of ruminating and thinking on what was just said. Page of Swords is the most inventive sword page, because it's honoring the cycles of the past, the present, and the future. It's not denying any part of that. It's very electric in its downloads. So You know, I was talking about clearing energy from our ancestors, looking to the past of how we've behaved collectively, and moving forward with the wisdom and understanding of the past, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're able to anchor down in the present, come up with ideas and constructs and messages, ishin and downloads that will then help us propel us forward. Right? That coming back to the Aquarian energy of the utopian, but moving away from looking at from fully focusing on the dystopian side of it, because that can bind and hold us, and instead finding the wisdom. Okay, how can we be curious about it in order to find solutions and resolutions? And on a personal level, bringing in ideas that facilitate your ability to collect information and new ideas that is then going to get activated via your heart space, that you're not limiting yourself to old cycles. What else did I want to say with that one? Yeah, with this Page of Swords, with that Chiron energy, Animajushna opposite the South Node in Libra, is highlighting the wisdom that we can learn from the past, from past wounds, but not be stuck in that cycle, and be able to move forward and liberate. With Mercury of collecting those ideas, feeding them to Mars, for the embodiment moving forward. Got the Four of Cups as I said that. In reverse, so helping us understand why we're out of flow and out of union and abundance and a sense of connection, and missing out on this Ace of Cups, to moving past beyond that, of not being stagnant anymore, of breaking out of this sort of fixed energy, and finding more capacity to open up to the impossible, or that which is in our fantasies and our dreams that seem so out of reach. Right, final bit of astrology is so Mars and Mercury are making a trine to Uranus over in Taurus. So we're bringing in that Uranian energy here. With our movements and our ideas. They'll make the exact trine a good couple of days after this, but it's still we're activating the inspiration. We're getting excited about where we're headed, and coming up with revolutionary possibilities. Uranus is the liberator, the breaker of chains, the clearer of paths. It wants you to be comfortable being your unique self. And this is very grounded energy that's being embodied. Not only that, but we've got over in Virgo, Lilith and Juno, who are both playing big roles in the Leo new moon. Juno represents commitment, your ride or die. Lilith represents very independent energy, but wanting to connect with others with independence, like with a sense of honor, respect, and integrity. She doesn't like hypocrisy and hierarchical systems that don't make any sense. And in hypocrisy of when somebody says you can't do a thing, but they do it, and there's literally no reason for you not to do it. And hierarchical structures where there is an element of control for no good reason. Lilith is very, there's the feminine sensuality to her, the liberation of internal creation energy, that isn't bound by certain frequencies. It's a very liberated energy, coming into conjunction with Juno, of this commitment to the healing of Virgo. So got this grand earth trine, really grounding this full moon. So bringing those frequencies, these download codes that are coming in, allowing grounding us while perhaps difficult energies show up. And our commitment to flow, right? Virgo is about, it's very observational. It's able to solve problems very easily. And funnily enough, a lot of comics have strong Virgo energy, which is then in a strange way bringing it back to the laughter side of it. Because sometimes by pointing out hypocrisies, right? That's what comics often do, hypocrisies or distortions. It helps us, and also tragedy, or difficult subjects where we then have the freedom to laugh, and people who have maybe gone through those difficulties now can bring laughter to something that is very heavy. It's one of the most, I love comics. It's one of my favorite things to go and do. It's such good value for money because laughter is like a full sound gong for your body. Bringing into alignment. So we've got this ability to connect to our independence, but really ground and commitment to that of clearing out imbalanced in relationship dynamics. Lilith can also bring that in. If we think about the heart space, this doesn't just have to be romantic. This can be any sort of dynamic that has harmed the heart. Our commitment to heal that. They're sort of tapping over the heart area, not the heart chakra. Hashinimano, Atinimarota, Dina, Gonga, Titani Numen, Ina, so linking the throat to the heart chakra, Itani Marufa, and the third eye, Itoma, Ina Manufa, by seeing clearly, we got the third eye chakra card. We can speak our truth that is operating from the heart space. Always connect your throat to your heart from, you're embodying through the heart. Itini Marusha, Tani, Itini Marufa, Tini Marufa. So we've got this strong, stable, earthing energy, Inimarufa, grounding us into the download that's coming through of committing to the expansion of self via the heart, that we have the capacity to commit to and to take. We've got another page, 3 pages. Lots of beautiful messages coming in. The Page of Cups, right? So this is magic. Idani marushini marofa. Love. Inama, messages of love. Isha, new frequencies. This page is the happiest page of them all. Ina manumi nani na chutnima. Ina manumi ni marushani matitana. And one of the things with the oracle cards is saying, like, when we are on a discovery of love. Ishani marusha tini marusha. And I love that Page of Cups. Can you see it? Yeah, you can. That Page of Cups is coming up. saying with these downloads we are activating new pathways in order to receive a deeper understanding when it comes to love, when it comes to our intuition, right, the moon, our emotional body, and where our needs are being met. Itani marushani marufa. It's also very Piscean energy, adomi ratini of magic and the synchronicities and the universal love from source energy. Ashini marushani. And as I say that, the star card comes up. Aishanina. This is Aquarius, right? She is unclothed. She is rid of masks. We've got the mask card here. She is authentically herself. It involves doing deep healing in order to tap to the galactic energy and be able to hope and dream again from these new frequencies, right? These new frequencies coming in. Ina majana. We're going to have the Aquarius new moon. Going to have the Aquarius new moon in a couple of weeks, and that marks the Chinese New Year, so we're activating another lunar cycle here. So it's interesting that the stars come up of saying we've got this full moon now, and then we're going to have that new moon that's going to be really facilitating this as well. Ishani Marufa. It's got the King of Cups. This is emotional balance. Being able to tap into our intuition. Itani Marusha, from a mature heart space. Itinima, and then create. Ishani Marushatina. Ace of Pentacles. Got some big earth energy showing up in this moon. This is offering from the universe a renewal of our 3D experience. Ishani Marushane Menina. Ishani Marushine Madufa. What a beautiful spread. They've never laid the cards out like this before. So it's really showing the sort of the completeness of this energy. Which is beautiful. It's the symmetry, right? We think about the universal truths of the universe. It's sound, it's frequency, and it's maths, right? It's geometry. That we know of. I feel there's going to be, over the next 20 years, a bubbling up of all of that. Right, okay, what's the time? I'm going to leave it at this. Leave it at that even. That's everything that I wanted to say. It's that I'm really quite blown away by this spread. It's very succinct in its nature, but there's a lot of strength here, yeah, just I'm lost for words, and it's giving me a lot of comfort, because it does feel like there's going to be some intense emotion showing up with this moon, that we've got such strength in these cards that it's really saying, it's really giving me comfort that, because I worry about everybody. I worry about every quark in the universe, Ishani Matusha, and wanting people to not suffer. And that's making me think about what something cropped into my head earlier, of how a lot of people struggle to believe in God, source energy, or some energy that's that's higher than our current understanding. They can struggle to tap into it because they're like, well, there's all this war, there's all of this morally unpleasant energy. And to tap into source, it is this understanding and its acceptance of allowing things to create in their own way, Ishana Motushanima, and that there are certain narratives that need to be played out in order to be liberated. And it's the journey, it's the experience in this life and the next, and finding, for me, what gives me solace, because if I tap too much into what's going on in the world, what has on in the world, and my fears of what will go on in the world, I'd just be in a ball crying the whole time. I wouldn't be able to exist and be. And sort of honoring the ridiculousness of the universe and this vast tapestry that we're in, and how it is pure poetry in motion, how it all plays out. And it's all, you hear stories from people, and you're like, if you tried to pitch that to the entertainment industry, they wouldn't believe you. They'd say no one would believe this. But the amount of stories you hear, where it's synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity, the chain of events is just so picture perfect. It is, everything is poetry in motion. Even some of the tragedy that happens, right? If you think about in the Greek times, they had the comedy and the tragedy, right? So there's the element of the balance between creation and destruction. That all need to play out. I talked a lot in the Plato. Plato had Pluto in Aquarius, and he was very much linked into the Platonic. The Platonic solids, which is about the exploration of the forms of the universe. Pluto, for me, it's inherently neutral. It honors creation and destruction and doesn't put any. It is what it is. And that seeing that, and then seeing the workings of the universe, that's what helped me fall in love with everything. That's what helped me connect to source energy, even in my difficult times of being like, okay, this is part of the tapestry, not only in this but in others. I can't remember why I was saying that. Oh, that this gives me comfort when I do lean into that fear energy of being like, I just want everyone to be okay. Well, that's not, that doesn't bring growth. That doesn't bring creativity and expansion. We go through different phases of it being in different intensities, and we're currently going through quite an intense one, but there is beauty within that, and there is this coming up here of those three kings and the emperor and the empress is saying, I just feel that this year, after everything that was been building over last year, that we are anchoring in a sense of innate maturity and perspective within us that then is going to allow us to play and be free and enjoy and create and find laughter in the little things, and find love, and radiate a sense of abundance even if our lives don't necessarily match up to what is presumed abundance. It's all very personal to you. Right, I'm talking too much. I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I really enjoyed that. I hope you did too. There will be an all 12 signs video series coming out. I'm going to start that in about an hour. That I'll break down what's showing up for this full moon energetically for each of the signs. So do you go check that out. And obviously the oracle cards haven't got involved fully. They didn't want to be read today. So there will be an oracle reading at the end of the all 12 signs transit if you want to go check that one out. Be good to yourselves, be good to those around you, and most importantly, be well until we meet again.